Welcome back, everyone. In today's episode of Garage Talk, we're going to be starting a new build of Jeep Cherokee injora body. If you're interested in any injora products, check out their website, injora.com, and you can use my code at checkout for a discount. I'm not affiliated with them. This is not a sponsored video. I make no profit from the use of the code. It's just another thank you for all that you guys do. If you don't want to miss out on any comp events, group calls, scale trails, garage talks, all the stuff that we find ourselves getting into, go ahead and subscribe because we're a small channel. We might not pop up in your feed again. Thank you for all that you guys do. Let's get into the show. First things first, I usually always want to try to get all my pieces out that I know and kind of figure out what I want my pattern to be. We're going to be going through the box. Here's all the windows. If I could tell you how much just the windows weigh, it's so much. Like, this thing is going to weigh a ton. And we are putting the windows in. Maybe not the driver and passenger. Because even in Sorca scale rules, you are allowed to not have those ones in for class 1, but that way too, because we can take our drivers in and out. We are ordering an interior, so this build will take a while, just know that, but they do come with these Lexan interiors, which is actually pretty sick. Maybe I won't order one, because these do fit so well. You can see where I fit mine before on that one, you can see I have it in this one here. I just screwed it. You can see there's a couple screw holes right here. We'll just screw them in. We'll go through that in the build process, but yeah, I think I might just use the Lexan instead of ordering one because our guy won't fit, but I might cut out some leg holes in this build right here in the Lexan body. That way our guy can fit in, because the back seat actually looks pretty nice. Like this is gonna look pretty good to scale in there. So with interior, it doesn't take much. You just need the eye just needs to catch a couple of seats and something. And the back seats on this is nice. Otherwise, if the one we get, we won't have back seats. And yellow is gonna match nicely, so yeah, we might do that. On this, you get your door handles and everything, and you have to paint them separately. Unless you want it white. I mean, if you want just a white body, all you have to really do to get this thing ready, that I would suggest, is you see like this part's here. You see how on this body up here, we have them black, I had to paint that. You want that because on all cars, even in a white car, that's like the black rubber trim. You know, you kind of want to look for things like that. Same with the vents up here. So if you get the white body, don't just leave it white. I mean, you can if you ultimately want to, but they look a little like, they catch everyone's eyes like, what's wrong with that thing? And it's because like it's plastic white. It's not even like, you got to get the molds in. Usually you have to paint the windows. You see how the window is black up here, or even on this is the one they painted. You have to paint around the windows, so. But we'll get into all that. We're gonna do something new with the paint job here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do primer gray over the white. Pretty much across the entire vehicle. We're gonna have to do all these window seals. This is gonna be a really hard paint job in comparison to what I did in the past, because all these are gonna have to be black trim. Wow. Same with certain details on here, that'll have to probably be black. I might be painting some things with a paintbrush. Either ways, we'll see how little details like that turn out. I probably want these clips here to be black, because those are supposed to be hinges, right? Yeah. But we're gonna do gray underneath on the paint job, and then we're gonna do the blue over the top of that, and then we're gonna sand it down and let them bleed through. Hopefully it turns out well. It'll be my first time attempting that, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't want to get the patina like rust on here. We might do patina rust on here, depending if I can find the paint fast enough. But we might just do the faded look as well. Either way, we're gonna show you guys how to prep your body. Okay, I'm by all means not an expert in painting. I've been in a bazillion art classes. I've been painting vehicles my entire life since as long as I can remember. My dad had put a can of spray paint in my hand and told me to go out and paint this truck in the yard or something, you know? So, I'm going to kind of just show you things that I do to paint my bodies here. Again, as always, it's not a how-to. You might know a better way. This might just help you, give you the confidence to go out and do it. But you can see that I painted this one, and I painted a bunch of parts of this. I've painted all this here where it changes color. This up here and stuff. Now it's all scratched up. But so, I don't know. You might have seen the colorful Comanche and whatnot. So I'm not a complete novice by all means, so I think the information is well enough to share. But let's get into it. First step, let's talk about prep. Prep is probably the number one thing you're going to be doing with your painting, from getting your paint ready to stick to stuff, cleaning stuff up in between things, letting your stuff dry, letting your stuff cure, which is two different things. Dry time and cure time, not the same thing, and that's a big thing for people. And then also taping. Taping is like the worst thing in my life, but it's the most important part. If you don't tape right, then your paint job is just gonna come out with all these weird lines, and it's like you wasted all your time anyways. But what I'm doing is, you can get these Scotch pads, you can see what kind it is. Any kind of like rougher Scotch pad, get it a little damp, or you can do it under the sink if you want. I'm just doing it here so you guys can see the better light. And scratch up the surface of this. If you don't want it to be white, scratch it up. I mean, if you're gonna paint it, scratch it up, and then what that'll do is it's gonna allow everything to adhere better to it, so it's gonna stick better. You know, your paint's gonna stick better. You need to, it's just like plaster or something like that. Paint needs little grooves to get in there. You don't want something to be completely smooth. Kinda, I don't know, 2 point. I guess I'm not 100% right in that either, but I don't know. Anyways, just gonna go for a while. I'm basically just setting it on there. I'm not really applying any kind of pressure, just setting it on there like that and moving it around. And then what we'll do is we'll dry it off. We'll kind of take a look and see. So you see all that shininess is gone? You see how it looks dull now? That's what you're looking for. There we go. Knock the ugly off, essentially. So that shine, it's gonna have some shine because it's still plastic, right? But that film, you see how that film is on there? That's just the plastic film, as far as I understand, from the company making the body. It's not an actual paint or anything or a clear coat. It's just like the plastic film. So that's all you're doing, is you're getting it ready for paint. I'm gonna get this wet. We'll grab the roof off here. And do the same thing, just kind of set it on there and move it around. You don't have to do circles. You're not Karate Kid. It's okay, you can just move it around. It doesn't take long. Just need a bit of the ugly knocked off. See? See those like little scratches and whatnot? Now when you paint, you're not gonna see scratches. They're not like deep in there. You just wanna get some of that shine off. And this is the same, even if you get a pre-painted body, I would suggest still doing this step. So say you get like what's something? Let's say you just get an injora body painted. You can still do this step. You don't need to sand the paint off. You can just do this step and knock some grooves into the paint and then do that. Like this ain't paint even on that injora body. That injora body, the plastic itself is red. So, you know, there you go. That's why that paint. The only thing we did is I added an extra clear coat to it. That's why you see those scratches, like, and like some of the clear coat chipping and stuff. Because I was clear coating this see-through paint is technically a clear coat. Oh, I already did that. And so you need to kind of match things up. You know, if I'm gonna add a clear coat to this, I wanted to make sure the red was going to match that. I'm still gonna go even where the paint is gonna be hidden, just because I want a good clean edges. I want things to hold nicely around. There we go. I'm applying a little bit of pressure to this one. Like I said, you don't have to. You don't want to make the grooves too noticeable. But I've done this a few times, so I kind of know, you know, what I'm looking for, where I'm looking for some of the paint to really grab in. Like these take a lot of smacks. This bolts on from the grill. Will bolt on here. So to make sure like your paint doesn't chip off. I mean, it's gonna chip off if you knock into something, but it doesn't chip off from like just bad paint. I make sure that it's really rough on the backside, so when it wraps around, whatever wrap around you get, you don't need to paint the inside, obviously. I do paint the inside black a little bit, so if you get a shot from underneath, it doesn't appear. But we don't rough it up in there. It'll stick regardless. I mean, spray paint's kind of dummy proof in a way, really. Like, some people really oversell the need to do your prep work when you're just spray painting something. But I mean, by all means, it's still important. I'm not trying to wish-wash on what I'm saying. Prep is still really important, but I mean, spray paint sticks to old rusty tractors. You know? Like, you'll be all right. We are clear coating. This is cleared coat. It's not shiny. This is clear coat. It's shiny. This is clear coat. It's not shiny. We'll get into that. I won't be using a gloss clear coat on this. And clear coat has a lot to do more with your cure than anything else. So we'll get into that when we get there. So like I said, now we're gonna wanna take these and wash them under the sink or under the hose or something. Just whatever, some cold water over them, and just make sure that all the plastic's rubbed away. Don't do it over some dishes that you're gonna use. You don't wanna eat plastic by chance. See, these little white flakes. Just you're knocking off the imperfections and whatnot. So, all right, we'll go do that. And then once I get them back, I start drying them right away. I actually started doing it off cam. And then I realized, I'm supposed to trying to be showing everything, but just get it dry. The reason why I dry it right away is you don't want any like watermarks on there, right? So, okay. Now I'm happy with all this, so we're gonna leave it and let it dry up. Get it nice and dry. You don't want any kind of like moisture like that. It's gotta be 100%. Maybe even leave it for 24 hours or something so you know, you can just put it out of your head for the day and be like, all right, we're done for the day. When you get to this point, just, put it somewhere the dust isn't gonna get to it, and you can just pick up again hours later. Or at least, give it 30 minutes under a fan. Okay. So, let's start off with this. I started breaking these off. These will be my hood things. I'm gonna need door handles and my mirrors. When you're breaking things off for your RC, try to wiggle it back and forth and break as much. I forget what this is called, the molds or whatever. You can use sandpaper if you want. That's kind of abrasive. You might ruin deep gashes in the whole thing. What I do is, there's special tools and stuff people will try to sell you. I just use a pair of scissors here, and just kind of work my way. It's easier, you hold it closer to your body. But see, that's one with it, and one without it, torn off. I think the scissors work pretty good on me, and just about everyone's got an old pair of scissors. So, and then when you paint that, I mean, you're not gonna see that. So that's a nice little, another free way to get some of the imperfections off. But let's talk about painting. So I talked about earlier getting this black rim around, like on your windows and stuff. So you see here. So all windows in real life on cars are gonna have like this black rubber thing. You'll see a lot of time when people paint their own RCs, if your eye catches like, why does this look funny to you? It's because they didn't do black rim. Just even if they leaved it white like this, if they don't do that, your eye is just gonna be like, what is wrong with this? Like constantly, you're just gonna look at it and be like, what's wrong? I can't put my mind on it. But that's one of the things that'll be throwing your eyes off. Is because like, that's just, cars have rubber there. That's just what it is. So you gotta paint it. One of the downfalls of having to paint it black is it's hard to tape everything and then also tape the interior. So say you want like a brown interior here, it's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be the hardest part, is getting the stuff, the little pieces black, especially on a big Cherokee like this, because there's a lot of windows. So what I decided is I'm not gonna worry too much about the overspray on the inside. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do just like any pickup in the 90s, or I believe Jeep, or anything that was aluminum or steel from the 90s or earlier. Generally the interior, like you would see anything that wasn't covered up by that fake vinyl stuff would be the same color as the exterior of the truck too. Like, so if you open my truck door, like on my old Chevy, it's just blue. it's blue paint, just like it would be on the outside. Well, nicer because it's never seen the light of day, but it's just the same thing. So that's what I'm getting at. Is like my pillars are not covered by plastic pieces or anything like new cars they are, but back in the day they were just exposed metal. So exposed metal would make sense for it to be blue as well. So we're gonna do blue interior paint as well when we paint this, and then so I'm gonna go ahead and do like I was saying, like I did the first time when I painted a body. I'm gonna do the black trim first, and then basically what that means is we're gonna tape every single piece that you see other than very small little pieces that we want black, like around the window here, this little piece right here. So we're gonna tape on top and bottom. I might even get this little lip here to be black, depending on, I need to look up another image. I don't think they were. I think it was blue too. Yeah, it was, because it was just the lip of the door is what it's supposed to be. But we're probably gonna make the hinges black, so we'll have to tape off like everything other than the window and those hinges. I'll probably tape off this whole thing other than these two little squares, just because I want them to be black. It's prep work. I might make the tail, I don't know. That's cool. That's okay to be blue. We are painting this based on an 86 blue Cherokee. So if you look up a picture of that, you'll know what I'm talking about on some of this. These will be black on the end, so we'll tape the center bumper, and then we'll probably paint the center bumper gray or blue. I don't know. Usually they're not blue. They would all be black, or the center would be silver, or chrome, chrome. But I don't know. We might just go with black caps, and then I'll see how I feel about that. I'm not 100%. We're gonna do blue everywhere else though. All right. But to start off with like I said, the taping and whatnot, I would use a thin tape, and then once you get down your detailed tape area, cut it to what it looks like, about length of each piece. Cut it to length, what it looks like. Go over a bit, and then come in and do the blue afterwards. So I'll kind of show you quick here. Well, quickish. This part takes forever. That's why we're not going to do it on film. But I know some people will be like a little demonstration, like I said a bunch of times. A tiny bit of demonstration can go a long way to help somebody just be like, gain the confidence to want to do it. I've been there a million times myself, so I completely understand. I don't think I know everything, but I'm willing to dive into this. Make sure your tape doesn't touch anything, because like I said, this is super important. And then normally I try to get my face right up in here, but for the sake of the camera, I'll try to make it where you guys can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Alright. Oh, it's moving around. That's not good. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll grab kind of the biggest end flathead out of your toolkit here, if you have the semi toolkit that everyone pretty much has, and then any kind of like pointed thing like that will work. And then I'll try to follow that line in and kind of see how I messed up this end here. So bring this end up a bit, right about there. Oh, like I said, this is the most important and tedious part. Any painter I know that works on vehicles or stuff or houses, they're just like, they hate finish work, they hate taping, they hate prep and finish, and trying to make sure your air bubbles are out as best as possible. Like you can see how that fold happened there, that's not good. But there we go. That's that first one. So that's basically how slow and meticulous you're gonna want to do everything. Every time you ever tape something, you're gonna want to make sure it's really on there. You're gonna want to make sure you really don't have any bubbles if possible. I mean, this isn't perfect. I'm just saying, you'll see from my mistakes what can go wrong possibly, just like in all the garage talk videos. But like I said, I'll show you another thing after that. What I would do is I'll do one green thing all the way around. So I want this to be black, right? This part that I left not taped. So I will go green, green, green. And then once I get that, I'll take my blue and I'll blue off whatever else. So I'll go like that. And we'll grab this. Shazam. Oops. Drop the tape. And then I'll just go way up here. And we'll might as well do all the way into the inside because that's going to be blue anyways, like painted from the body blue, not blue tape. It's a little confusing sometimes, I understand. And we'll follow it down. So we really make sure no fog gets in there because we're going to be using spray paint. So now it ain't got to be perfect. It's okay, little folds or something. Alright, and then like I said, I'll do that all the way around. You can use paper to save yourself some tape costs if you want. Sometimes with paper, you really want to make sure that you leave enough space in between. We'll use paper at different times, and I'll show you, you know, when we get to that, I'll show you kind of how I suggest doing that. Again, there's many ways to do this stuff. If you plan on doing a bunch of painting and you want paper, pick up a roll of paper, something like this. You can usually find it at an old school hardware place, paint and body car shop place. They'll have it. It'll be really thick. It'll be usually like this big around. And it's actually really cheap. If you have kids too, you need drawing paper. I mean, shoot, something like this is insane. But I've used that to paint 3 vehicles, full-size vehicles now, and paint a few different bodies for RC, and I still have that much paper left. So, anyways, that's what I was saying. So now I have my green layer, which is like these are both good tapes. But the green being not so thick is easier to work with around corners and stuff. That's why I'm using 2 different kinds of tape. And then blue over to make sure no fog. And then like I said, I'll put blue here. I just want to show you how I've been taping the windows and how I would do it after all this, kind of the best system that I figured out that works for me. So first thing first, the edge that you're going to be working on, you want to face away from you. So you can scoop your tape into it. Just grab a piece of tape that's a little oversized. And this is going to come to a pinch, so this is even a harder zone. It's actually kind of perfect to show you on. And then you're going to want to bring your tape in just like that. Well, bam. And then I'll take some sort of flat screwdriver, flat edge, get my corners in, and then work it in smoothly and gently. Make sure the tape adheres, and then go ahead and get it in there. There we go. Just like so. But like I said, I can't just roll it over because I need to do that other side too. So what I'll do is I'll peel that back a little bit, and then you're going to cut that right in half. Perfect. Set that piece off because you're going to use it. Now the other half. Shazam. Now this is the side I'm working on, so I'm going to face it away from me. Grab the edge of the half that's clean. Tuck it into the side that I'm working on. Oh. Tuck it in. Kinda usually trying to get it just to stick on something, just enough till your fingers can lift off. Work the edges, smooth in a few spots, and push it on. Smooth her out. There we go. And here's how I was going to show you that you can use the paper. the same thing. Depending on how you want to save your tape, you know, I could have used paper here too. Obviously, the more tape you use, the more, like, for sure, most likely the paint won't hit it. And then you can see with these, the way I was doing it is if you are taping the paper on, you want at least, you know, about this much of the tape to here to the plastic. So remember that, and then that much to the paper. We'll go just like this. Shazam. Usually try to go a little bit over the edge. I'll probably put a little piece there too. And then I'll cut a couple of these in like that. Just so I can come back here. Shazam. Couple more pieces. Nice. That's a nice spicy meatball. Sorry, it's late. It's probably like 1 a.m. right now. I've been working on this for a little while. Got work soon. And there we go. And that's my taping done for this. And then I can paint what I need to paint black. I think we're going to paint all my accessories back. I think I'm going to do the whole bumper in black as well. Just to help highlight the blue, which is on the truck. And also, there's going to be black parts on the truck, so it'll look nice, I believe. Okay, so part of painting, one of the big parts, like I said, the prep work, make sure you have a good painting surface. Even if you're using an old crappy board like this, just wipe off all the dust and things like that that are going to kick up into the paint. As long as you're not spraying, like this stuff in the background probably won't get bushed around in the air, and it's going to dry pretty quick, so it's okay to paint outside on little projects. Just, you know, do a little bit of prep. Kind of did more than I wanted to on that, but I'm only going to get one go before work, so this is kind of a good example of how not to do it, but how it will still turn out right if you don't 100% do it the right way. Which is perfect for us. Here we go. You can see how this is lifted, so now it'll be on there too thick, but we'll be able to sand it down, and at least the sides will be covered so we can recoat it if needed. Always be shaking this can anytime you're not using it. Okay, so we're gonna do these in the windows. That's pretty much it. We're already done. 3 hours of taping for like 3 minutes of spraying. There you go, it's a little bit too thick. Go. Now it's gonna be okay. You get some overlap inside. Like I said, we're gonna be painting what we're painting now, we will be taping at one point, and then a little bit of overspray from the black will get covered up from the blue paint. It won't be that thick. Ooh, that was a bad spray there. But that's okay. The reason why it's okay to be heavy on the window spray is it's gonna look like rubber anyways, right? So it being thick and weird in spots is not necessarily a bad thing. Kind of thought about this too. We're gonna go ahead and make this piece black on the roof because it's gonna be like a console board. There we go. So that'll be the one piece that's not blue inside the cab. It'll be like a roof. When you're doing these smaller pieces, you can stab them through cardboard like that, so they hold themselves in from blowing around. Otherwise, you can use thumbtacks on the cardboard. It really helps.
I really hope this is able to help someone. If it gave someone the confidence to just tear into the job or a way to do something, there's different ways to do it. I'm not an expert on this. Again, I'm not trying to do a how-to. I'm just trying to give out some helpful information. Good luck on your builds out there. Thank you for watching. Have good days, have good nights, and happy trucking.